My name is Harry. I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is January 31st, 2026. It is 2:37 a.m. I was not going to record anything tonight, but my time, I guess I'm like on a schedule where I'm up, just staring on the ceiling. So I was like, you know what, instead of wasting my time staring on the ceiling, let me come and record some stuff for you guys. So I haven't been really online that much. Too many crazy stuff popping up on my timeline, so I sort of avoid them. So I went on X, and I think Meghan, you see it's right here, Meghan Sussex was trending. So I click on it. I got some stuff, and there's some politics as well that I thought I should share. I might have 2 videos. Okay. Yeah, so let's get started. First tweet. Okay. So this one I posted on my community board when I saw it earlier in the morning. It's kind of a LOL kind of thing. Alright, I think the squad put it together. Someone had commented on it, and it seems like the comment was taking it too seriously, and I was like, no, it's kind of let me go look at it. I forgot how I respond to it. So there it is on my community board on APTS Sussex. Several people, this is my response here. The person said, did they decide against Prince Harry again? And I was like, from my point of view, it's a satire. It's not real. Okay, so I don't know anything about Ravec as of now, if they say anything. Okay, so, oops, where is it? Let me share it with you. Oh my God, it's taking so long. Alright, I solemnly swear I do firmly believe that Ravec did not stop doing security assessment for Prince Harry. They just stopped sharing it with him. The palace knows this, and so do sarcastic terrorists and the toxic British media. That's the reason they don't want him to have protection. Alright, so this is just, I think the squad put it together just for the laugh. When you consider the reality of his existence, I refuse to believe that security departments are not hearing and observing situations that are a threat to the Sussexes. Key factors considered. The 7 points assessors look at. Who is threatening you? Extremists, which is true. Extremists, the racist royal British media, envious hag calling extreme measures to neutralize him. Where are you vulnerable? Home or work? He says everywhere, which is true as well. It might be kind of a satire in my point of view, but it is true. Alright, your public profile or role, the superior son of head of state of 15 countries. Superior son. Are you targeted due to hate crime, honor-based violence, combat vet, global statesman, loving husband of beautiful, intelligent, black, biracial soulmate? Previous incidents, neo-Nazi, which is true, white nationalist, imprisoned for threats to life. Political, religion views, better brother of an envious, incandescent, frustrated, underachieving brother. Oh my God. Factors that increase risk include having a publicly known address, predictable routine or lack of existing security, high-profile international public figure with toxic British media, desperate for access, loss of security due to envious, spiteful, and vindictive father and sibling. All of these are true, but it's the way that she put it, or he put it. Because they wanted the Diana 2.0. That's so. That's the live who did this. You, I love it. Let's see. That's the response to it. Okay, I don't see it. Alright, so let's go to the next one. Okay. Taxi British press packet watch Cookie Queen's ticket sales, then lie about its success. But quiet as F on these empty-ass theaters for the First Lady's movie, even UK folks barely showing up. What happened to the soft power stuff? Shaking my head. Okay, so by now some of you probably know there's a movie out about the current First Lady of the United States. And it seems like it was shown in the UK. And nobody, well, one ticket was sold. Just one. Okay? I wonder who was that one ticket. I saw other people talking about it. Alright, Kate Middleton is a flop. Melania is a colossal flop. But the right-wing media claim that these women are popular. Right? Now, imagine if the Duchess was recently pictured with the First Lady and these abysmal ticket sales followed. Taxi British press would have written heaps of articles saying Lenny got Markle, so what do you call this? Alright, chill. Even the tumbleweed wool on my melanomus bullcrap, whatever that thing is, that they pay billions for. Yeah, I wonder how much did they, I think there's a number, a figure that came out, how much they pay to produce it. Let me pause for a second. Okay, so this is what I wrote. Cost for the Melania Trump movie. The documentary Melania, directed by Brett Ratner, involved a total investment of approximately $75 million by Amazon MGM Studio. This figure includes a $40 million acquisition cost for the rights and an estimate of $35 million for the marketing and promotion. What the hell? I only heard of it when they said only one ticket was sold. You know, when the way that I'm looking at it here, they didn't really care about the movie. Okay, I didn't see any promotion. It's probably, this is a way of them to give those money away. Okay, for whatever reason it is. Remember what they did when the moment Trump got in office? Fire a whole bunch of people. Money was sent to was it not Venezuela? What was that country? Nacho's country. I can't think of it. Argentina. All that money going there, and this is just a way to get some money to those hands. That's all it is. Okay, they don't care about the movie. It's just a way to get the money out. To exchange, to make it legal, okay? Because they cannot just hand the money over for no reason. They had to create something to transfer the money. On the surface, it looked legal. That's the way that I see it, okay? Because I did not see any marketing for that particular movie. It's when they say it's only one ticket was sold, I'm hearing about it, okay? All right, let's see here. Let me pause and ask the question. So this is what I asked Google. Was there any marketing for the documentary Melania? I don't see anything. They're just talking about the movie. So you're telling me, let me go back. I'm going to ask ChatGPT about that. I copy. All right. You're telling me for marketing, you spent $35 million for marketing and promotion when I didn't hear anything. I would have seen somewhere. Okay. All right. Let's James Bond approximate. Let me compare. All right. This one said 35 million for marketing. Let's pick a movie. What's one of the all right, before I forget, let me open ChatGPT. Ask the same question. Okay. Yes, there has been a very deliberate and unusual large-scale marketing campaign for the document Melania. But how come I didn't see it? I didn't know anything about it. I didn't see anything. I didn't even know they were doing a marketing about it. Now, the other thing I want to do, let me look for a Tom Cruise movie, okay? Alright, let's see. Let's pick one of those. Tom Cruise. Let me pause. Okay, so I asked Google Tom Cruise best movie. So they said Tom Cruise best movie is often debated between acting action, critical drama. Okay, so let's pick Mission Impossible. That's all I want. Alright. Let's pick Mission Impossible. How much? Okay, so how much was spent to promote Mission Impossible in 2018? 150. Approximately 150 was allocated for the promotion and distributed. So how much did that make? So they promoted for 150 million. Did they make it back? Okay. So that was a good investment. $791 million plus. Okay. Worldwide. So they made the money. The 150, what was it? 150 million. Okay. And then they make 700 plus. So that's a good investment. But, well, that was worldwide. But you know what? Let's leave that alone. Let me not spend too much time on it. But anyway, that's the Melania thing. I didn't hear about the promotion. But in my humble opinion, I just think it's just a way to transfer money around. That's okay. Where else is it being played? Is it just the UK? I asked Google, where else the Melania Trump movie is showing? Maybe I should say what country. The document is filled 20 days leading up to 2025 inauguration. Okay. Florida. Okay, let's say what country? What country? Okay. The document of Melania is being released over 20 countries with major theatrical releases in the United States. I didn't know it was being shown. Spanning over 1,500 cinemas in the United Kingdom, over 100 cinemas. The film is also scheduled to show in locations including Tokyo, Mexico City, and part of the Middle East. Okay. Alright. So, how much did he made? Okay. Okay. The 2026 documentary produced for an estimate. Okay, I don't want to know. I just want to know how much it made. Opening. Okay, it's projected. That's not the actual. To make low opening weekend gross estimate ranging 1 million to 5 million. Early ticket sales have been described soft or weak in many locations. So the investment. So I don't know. You could pause and read. Alright, let's go to the next tweet. I spent too much time on this. I didn't see the promotion. I'm sorry. If they did, I didn't see it. Alright, next tweet. I'm leaving it alone, okay? So the tweet was making reference to a lot of other things. Alright, this one is pretty long. It's almost 10 minutes of review. I've shared some of her TikTok videos before. Meghan Sussex, who earns her every dollar, is having her clothing itemized by the shameless racist UK media. Meghan's soft life is earned. Yet the royal family's grant is raised yearly half a billion dollars. Okay, pound. £500 million. They give nothing in return for the helping with tourism is proving a myth, a hoax. Okay, so let's listen.
Let's talk about something that has always bothered me, and it's time we actually say it out loud. Why is Meghan the only woman in public life whose spending is audited like a crime scene? Every single article, every single appearance, every single outfit. Meghan wore an X £1,000 dollar coat. Meghan stepped out in blah 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 heels.
I remember before I even started looking into Harry and Meghan and even doing podcasts like I do almost every day, I remember watching one of those Entertainment Tonight kind of thing. It could have been Access Hollywood or one of those shows where they talk about celebrities. Occasionally I used to watch them when I'm doing stuff around. It used to come in the afternoon. So in one of those segments, and they were talking about somebody. I don't remember who the person was. The only thing I was hearing was dollar sign. This person is wearing that. This person is wearing this, and the cost of every item. And I was like, what was this segment about? All I'm hearing was dollar sign, dollar sign. So the UK was slowly, okay, shifting this type of things into the US. That was way before the Harry and Meghan thing came into my periphery. It could have been around the time when Harry and Meghan first started dating, when nobody knew. Okay? So I was not in the business and looking into the royal family at all. So when I heard that particular segment, I was like, what the hell? What was this about? That was a question I asked myself. I was like, all I'm hearing is dollar sign, dollar sign. What was it about? Why were they even showing the person? All I was hearing was dollar sign. And you see where we are now, our current administration right now, all they care about is money. So they were shifting that type of behavior, mentality over here, little at a time. It's like soft, not soft power. What do you call this? They were softly easing people's mind into accepting this type of things. I don't know what the term for it, but knowing what I know now and what I encountered previously, I could put one and one together. It was the UK who was shifting these things over here. All right, in my humble opinion. Let's continue.
Meghan's outfit costs blah blah blah. She wore earrings that cost blah blah blah. Why? Why? I think it's very obsessive, and I think it's definitely not accidental, because this is not fashion coverage, it's pocket watching, and it's being used as a character assassination tool. So let's start with the facts. Number one, Meghan bought her own outfits and clothes long before she ever met Harry. She was a working actress. She ran the TIG, a lifestyle platform that was actually built around fashion, wellness, travel, and food.
And one thing I've heard from Sussex squad, especially the squaddies who's look into fashion and things like that, many times Meghan wore her clothes not just once. Okay? According to many of the squaddies who highlight her fashion. I'm not a fashion person. I don't look into all of this. But occasionally I will share this stuff because the squad are talking about it, and I know some of you who watch my podcast who's not on Twitter might want to know what the squad are talking about. So anything that I know the squad are talking about, I will share it with you if I find it interesting. So many times the squad, they will even show pictures of the clothes that she wore previously and she's wearing again. All right, so that's another thing. Let's get back to this.
She literally showed us her wardrobe, her skincare, her taste, and she's always been stylish, and she's always invested in really good quality clothing.
That's true.
And she's always paid for her own things. That isn't new behavior. What's new is the way certain elements of the press are choosing to talk about it and how they're choosing to frame it.
With her buying her own clothes, let's not forget her wedding dress. She bought it, even though she did not want that type of wedding that the royal family insists that Harry and Meghan have that huge wedding. Okay, and then afterward, I don't know what happened to her wedding dress. They took it, the royal family took it, showed it in some place, I don't know, where people had to pay to come and look at it. I hope Meghan got that dress back because it was her own hard-earned money. I'm telling you, the UK will not miss a bit wherever they could make a few dollars from it, or pounds, shall I say. Let's continue.
Because the thing that they don't say out loud is that Meghan is the only woman in the royal ecosystem who was not dressing on taxpayers' dime. Yes,
That's true.
even when she was working for the taxpayer. And meanwhile, the other girl is paid for by the duchy. Before they got their hands on the duchy, her father-in-law was paying for everything that she ever put on her body. Her security, staff, wardrobe allowance, all publicly funded or privately funded through inherited wealth. And Meghan's an American, financially independent. She is used to earning her own money, and she's used to buying her own clothes. And yet, somehow, they choose to accuse her of being expensive or flashy or out of touch. Well, it does not make sense to me. And this is where the manipulation comes from. Because when the press, when they list the cost of Meghan's outfits, they're not doing fashion journalism. They are actually policing, and what they're doing is what I call emotional engineering. because they want you to think she's greedy, she's vain, she's not like us, she doesn't deserve sympathy. And it's deliberate, because once you paint someone as too rich, too polished, too glamorous, people stop empathizing with them. And once the empathy is gone, cruelty becomes acceptable. And that is what the press are trying to do. And this is a tactic that has always been used on black women in particular. Yes, I say that. It's almost as if black women are not allowed a certain level of luxury. You're not allowed to be rich. You're not allowed to be seen as something sophisticated and polished and beautiful. They also use this trope on ambitious women, on women who don't know their place, on women who don't perform humility in a way that people find comfortable. They're either too flashy, trying too hard, or not grateful enough. There is no winning when it comes to how the press paint women, in particular black women who are rich. And what makes this even more absurd is that Meghan's clothes were not even extravagant by royal standards. She wore very neutral tailoring, clean lines, and she has her rewearable staples that she's had for years. In fact, recently, in a photograph to promote her brand, she actually rewore an outfit that she wore to a charity event. She first wore that charity event in 2018, and she's re-wearing it now. Her coats, her bags, her shoes, and that's because she buys things that last. And yet,
that's what I was saying. Some of the squad have said that. All right, so let's continue.
You have other royals who are flying constantly in newly purchased helicopters. They live in palaces. They renovate their homes with public funds. They have about 6 homes and counting. And they wear couture items without it being scrutinized. And somehow that is fine with the press. That is fine with certain members of the public. Because in my opinion, the issue was never really about the money. The issue was about who they thought is spending it. And here's the quiet part that no one likes to say out loud. They need Meghan to look high maintenance because they want her to seem unworthy of protection. If she's framed as being indulgent and spoilt, then their abuse looks justified. Then the intrusion becomes deserved. And then the harassment becomes public interest.
I never thought of it that way. This is something I need to think about. Maybe when I'm editing, if other thoughts come to mind, I'll share it with you. But I never thought of it that way. I thought it was in some shape or form to distract away from the royal family, so people don't say, oh, we're spending that much, or the taxpayers is spending that much on the royal family or things like that. But I never thought of it that way. But they don't want that scrutiny. They don't want who's actually making Harry and Meghan in need of more security. If they just leave them alone, don't talk about them, I mean, they will still need security, but that urgency, that protection, they're making it more urgent for Meghan and Harry to have. But I never thought of it the way she's putting it, but I'm not discrediting it. Let's continue.
It's psychological framing, and it's worked on a lot of people. And also, I want to talk a bit more about the racial subtext, because yes,
I'll move it back. But in that aspect as well, this is why Harry was saying he was willing to pay for his own security. Okay, if they could spend that much for their clothes, allegedly, whatever the media is saying, as she's putting it, they're putting $sign on everything Meghan wear. But when Harry said he's willing to pay for his own security, so that also balanced the fact that Meghan is wearing her clothes, you know, whatever amount the clothes cost, and they're willing to pay for their own security. And we could also see, okay, this is where you have to use your senses. Meghan is working her butt off with as ever. She's selling her gem, her wine, her whatever, cookies, chocolate, and all of that. So she's working her butt off to have whatever she's having. As a matter of fact, that should make people think and said, okay, if you're telling me her clothes, her books, her not books, her bags, her shoes cost X amount, and she's doing all of this with her company as ever, how come the royal family are not doing the same thing to make their own money? That's the way I would put it. All right, so let me move it back.
Intrusion becomes deserved, and then the harassment becomes public interest. It's psychological framing, and it's worked on a lot of people. And also, I want to talk a bit more about the racial subtext, because yes, it's there, whether people admit it or not. Because when a black or biracial woman spends money, it's framed as excess, vanity, greed, ghetto, trying too hard. But when a white woman of a certain class does the same, it's elegant or classic or timeless, or it's a tribute, or it's paying homage. Yeah, that's how it's framed. It's the same behavior but different judgment, and that is not a coincidence. And here's the wildest part of all. Meghan never asked anyone to pay for her lifestyle.
That's right.
She doesn't take public funds. She didn't demand a wardrobe budget, and she didn't live off the taxpayer, even when she was working that family. Because they put out false news. They let the press run with false news that she had £1 million wardrobe, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of the stuff she wore, she either paid for it herself, or there were things she already had. And thank God for the Sussex squad.
That's right.
And also the eagle-eyed Tiglets, who actually will put side-by-side photos to say, these pair of shoes she owned before blah, these pair of shoes that she's wearing. They made those comparisons and they brought the receipts. So thank God her life was public before she entered that family.
That's right. This is what I was saying. Because of the squad. This is what happened with the media. They try to spin Meghan in every freaking direction. All they also know that they have to target people on the media. They tried it with Meghan. Thank God, with her 3 million followers before all of us, like myself, came in from Tig, from wherever she was on social media. She moved, bring them along with her to the UK, wherever all the followers were, the Sussex squad were, around the globe. She moved, she bring them along. And that's how the media in the UK could never, whatever marketing campaign that they had against Meghan, it always hit a brick wall, because the Sussex squad who been following her will put, like she just said, side by side. Okay, today she wore this, and there she was. A couple years ago, she wore it. So there's all of that. And let's not forget, and spare, I have the clip, the audio, where Harry was asking the father for money to take care, I don't know, where Charles was saying he doesn't have money to take care of Harry and Meghan. Okay?
Driving us out into the fields, asked about Meg. Not with great interest, just casually. Still, he didn't always ask, so I was pleased. She's good, thanks. Does she want to carry on working? Say again. Does she want to keep on acting? Oh, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't think so. I expect she'll want to be with me, doing the job, you know, which would rule out Suits, since they film in Toronto. I see. Well, darling boy, you know there's not enough money to go around. I stared. What was he banging on about? He explained, or tried to. I can't pay for anyone else. I'm already having to pay for your brother and Catherine. I flinched. Something about his use of the name Catherine. I remembered the time he and Camilla wanted Kate to change the spelling of her name because there were already 2 royal ciphers with a C and a crown above. Charles and Camilla? It would be too confusing to have another. Make it Catherine with a K, they suggested. I wondered now what came of that suggestion, I turned to Willie, gave him a look that said, "You listening to this?" His face was blank. Pa didn't financially support Willie and me and our families out of any largesse. That was his job. That was the whole deal. We agreed to serve the monarch, go wherever we were sent, do whatever we were told, surrender our autonomy, keep our hands and feet inside the gilded cage at all times, and in exchange the keepers of the cage agreed to feed and clothe us. Was Pa, with all his millions from the hugely lucrative Duchy of Cornwall, trying to say that our captivity was starting to cost him a bit too much? Besides which, how much could it possibly cost to house and feed Meg? I wanted to say, she doesn't eat much, you know, and I'll ask her to make her own clothes, if you like. It was suddenly clear to me that this wasn't about money. Pa might have dreaded the rising cost of maintaining us, but what he really couldn't stomach was someone new dominating the monarchy, grabbing the limelight. Someone shiny and new coming in and overshadowing him, and Camilla. He'd lived through that before and had no interest in living through it again.
So Meghan and Harry were taking care of themselves, and I believe their Fragmore, not only did they pay for the renovation, but they also the furniture, where Meghan's furniture from Canada shipped over there. Every time I think about this, it really pisses me off because this is not cheap to do. It costs a lot of money to do these things. But anyway, let's continue. So I'm glad she's covering that part where the Sussex squad have highlighted Meghan's clothes. Many of the clothes that she wore when she was working royal, well, allegedly they weren't paying her. It's clothes that she already owned.
And yet, even when she left the institution so she could earn money independently, she is still being punished for it. Because how dare a woman leave the system, fund herself, control her own image, and refuse to be grateful for mistreatment? And the obsession with her clothes is definitely not about the clothes. It's about control. It's about trying to reduce a complex, articulate, boundary-setting woman into something shallow and mockable. It's about punishing her for not playing the role that they wrote for her. And it's about making sure that the public never forgets to see her as too much. Meanwhile, the other girl's wardrobe is subsidized. Her clothes are rarely costed in headlines, and her fashion isn't weaponized. In fact, her fashion that she copies from Meghan is even praised. Her spending is never moralized because the goal is not transparency, the goal is narrative control. So next time you see the headline say, "Oh, Meghan steps out in X amount of dollar outfit," you need to ask yourself, why is it being mentioned? Who benefits from the framing? Why am I nudged to feel this way? Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you stop falling for it, the whole campaign starts to collapse. And that is what they're scared about. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, please. My name's Elizabeth. I'm the author of The Luxpreneur. And for more insights like these, please like, share, comment, and follow me. And also, to support my work, please pick up a copy of my book, The Luxpreneur, from Amazon. And thank you so much to those of you who bought a copy. I am truly, truly, truly appreciative of you. And for those who couldn't get a copy, you know, and you've written me or DM'd me, it's fine. Honestly, your presence, your comments, your support, I value that more than anything else. And thank you so much for helping me grow. I truly appreciate it.
Okay, so I let the last part where she's promoting her thing, so you guys could support her. All right, let's see here. They need to concentrate on the money that they're taking from the taxpayers for the leftovers who do nothing. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, has always paid her own way. The British taxpayers does not pay for her and are not entitled to dissect her financial transaction. Bullseye. Thank you. I used to live in the apartment building, and I got in the elevator with two beautiful black women who look like they've been on the Pretty Woman shopping spree, holding bags from Nordstrom. And I said, that's what I like to see. Two beautiful, confident women who, all right, tell me why Prince William has a $30 million salary. What does he pay for? Not his home, not security, not clothing. Okay, I can't stand people, jealous, simple people who sit around counting other people's money. Go make your own damn money and watch it. Meghan Markle is a damn boss. Haters. Alright, abolish the royal family. Open up the empty palace as they did in Versailles, and watch tourism soar to great height. Alright, this is the last one I'm reading. Buy what they want and aren't afraid of a little luxury. Two beautiful black women who said my skin color doesn't determine my income. My hard work does that. They both immediately hugged me and did so until they reached their floor. Okay, so it seems like it continued from here. Alright, these two. Alright, so let's go to the next one. I might have part 1 and part 2 in this recording. This is one of the reasons they're trying to to blind the people with Meghan's topic. Alright, they don't want people to know about this. This is what's going on in the US.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.